Good morning, everyone. I hope that you are fine and in a good health. Today we're going to study grammar to talk about what people do in their jobs. We're also going to sing What's His Job Again. So let's get started. Can you tell me which verb do we use to talk about what people do? Excellent. It's the verb work. So to work is to do a job to earn money or a living. To do things in exchange for money. For example, he works on a farm, okay? Or she works in a hospital. Another verb can be used to describe a job is the verb to wear. Let me give you some examples using this verb. A police officer wears a uniform. A farmer doesn't wear a uniform. So let's study the grammar table together. We add s to the verb to make affirmative sentences for the pronouns he and she. For example, he works on a farm. She wears a uniform. Notice that the verb takes s with the pronouns he and she. Okay? It's not correct to say he wear a uniform. It's a common mistake. We can say I wear a uniform, you wear a uniform, we wear a uniform, they wear a uniform, but he or she wears a uniform. So never forget to add s, okay, to make affirmative sentences. Can you give me some examples? Excellent. A nurse works in a hospital. She wears a uniform. She helps sick people. Good job. So please don't forget to add s to the verb if you have the pronouns he or she. Let's move on. We use does to make a yes or no question. For example, does he work with animals? Does she wear a uniform? So notice that we use does to ask a question. Okay? If we have the pronouns he or she. It's not correct to say, does he works with animals? It's a mistake. We add s just in the affirmative form. So the answer can be, yes, he does, or no, he doesn't. Yes, she does, or no, she doesn't. Now let's move on to the last one. We use doesn't to make negative sentences. For example, he doesn't work in a hospital. She doesn't drive a car. Okay? In the negative form, the verb doesn't take s. So the verb takes s only in the affirmative form. Okay? Let's do the following exercises to understand things better. Okay? For exercise 1, you're supposed to look at the pictures, okay? And complete the questions. Then write the answers. Okay? Look at picture 1. What's his job? What does the man do? What's his job? Excellent. He's a police officer. So does he wear a uniform? Does a police officer wear a uniform? What do you think? Look at the picture again. Excellent. Yes, he does. Now, does drive a car? What do we need here to complete the question? Excellent. We need the pronoun he. Does he drive a car? What is the answer? Excellent. Yes, he does. Let's move on to number 3. He works in a hospital. So which word goes here to complete the question? Good job. It does. So does he work in a hospital? What is the answer? Does the police officer work in a hospital? No, he doesn't. Excellent. A police officer works in a police station. Okay? Now let's move on to number 2. It's a woman. Okay, so we're going to use she, not he. If it's a man, we say he. But if it's a woman, we say she. So, does she wear a uniform? What do you think? Look at the picture. No, she doesn't, okay? She wears normal clothes. She wears usual clothes, okay? Does she wear a uniform? So you're supposed to put a question mark here. And for the answer, you can say no, she doesn't. Let's move on to the next one. Does work with people. So which pronoun is supposed to be here, okay, to complete the question? Excellent. It's the pronoun she. We're supposed to use the pronoun she. Does she work with people? Because it's a woman. So what is the answer? Excellent. No, she doesn't. Okay. Let's move on to the last one. What about the last one? She works in a library. So which word goes here to complete the last question? Excellent. We need does. Does she work in a library? What do you think? Look at the picture again. She's holding many books and there are books behind her. So what do you think? Does she work in a library? Excellent. Yes, she does. So what do we call the person who works in a library? Excellent. A librarian. So the woman is a librarian. Try to do exercise 2. You're supposed to choose the correct answers. Okay? Base your answers on this picture. Let's play a game. The game is called affirmative and negative. I will name a job and you have to say 2 sentences about that job. 1 affirmative and 1 negative. For example, if I say a farmer, you have to provide 1 affirmative sentence like a farmer works with animals. And 1 negative sentence like a farmer doesn't wear a uniform. Are you ready? So let's go. A vet. Excellent. A vet wears a uniform. So this is the affirmative sentence. A vet doesn't treat people. This is the negative one. Let's continue. A nurse. Perfect. A nurse helps patients. A nurse doesn't work in a shopping center. Very good. A fashion designer. Excellent. A fashion designer creates clothes. A fashion designer doesn't work outside. Perfect. A pop star. Good job. A pop star sings pop music. So this is the affirmative sentence. A pop star doesn't work in a hospital. A firefighter. A firefighter wears a uniform. A firefighter doesn't work in a library. Let's carry on. A shop assistant. A shop assistant works in a grocery shop. A shop assistant doesn't work in a post office. A taxi driver. Very good. A taxi driver works outside, so this is the affirmative sentence. A taxi driver doesn't drive a police car. This is the negative one. Very good. Listen to the last one. A police officer. Amazing. A police officer wears a uniform. A police officer doesn't work in a museum. Great job. Now let's sing What's His Job to practice what we have learned. I hope you enjoy it.
What's his job? Song.
He doesn't wear a uniform. He works inside. He says, "Can I help you?" He works all day from 9 to 5. What's his job? What's his job? Is he a
Now try to sing the song with the karaoke version.
Unit 4. What's his job? Song. Karaoke version.
I hope you enjoy it.